Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. We are from Group 2. What is on the news today? We have 6 members in our group, which are Cikgu Nur Husnina, Nur Amira Akila, Nur Wildani Adiba, Nurul Faiza, Wan Nurul Azila and myself, Aida Arina. We presenting the video that we choose.
Orang kau tak cakap nombor betul ke tak ya kita? Kau tak buat dia apa? Aku tak nak mati. Kau tak buat dia apa? Kau nak pergi balas sekarang. Apa kita kopi? Buka kopi kau ni. Mana nak pergi? Buka kopi kau. Mana kita dua. Bang tengok apa heran kau ni kita dua.
Orang suruh cek nombor je.
Jumpa aku tu kau tahu tak? Kakak lelek lah. Hei! Kau bicara kau. Kau cakap apa tadi kat aku?
Aku cakap cek nombor.
Okey, lepas tu kau cakap apa? Aku lepak sembang. Apa masalah aku lepak?
Lepas tu kau tak lepak.
Customer complain siapa dah kena?
Aku lepak tak boleh ke?
Tak boleh lah
Kenapa? Siapa cakap tak boleh?
Customer complain siapa dah kena? Aku nak kena.
Aku boleh report tak ada masalah. Kau ajang aku. Senang.
Gila report tak takut. Tak kisah.
Cakap dengan member kau, relax. Tenang, okey? Cool. Okay.
Janganlah biadab. Jangan sampai kau tak ada buat pandang.
As we all know that the restaurants in Malaysia are not open for dine-ins, the customer have been flocking back to their usual food hunts, but there are still customers prefer to order the food through online by using food delivery apps. This led to some restaurants are struggling to keep up with both online orders and growing crowds. Same goes to the food delivery riders too, in which they struggle to manage the customer expectation by keeping track of delivery time and ensuring the orders reach customer on time. Therefore, it's a challenge to fill the gap that exists between the food delivery riders and the restaurant owners to work together. In this viral video was shared by Kiki News Official on TikTok that this incident took place at restaurant Cik Dakita in Setia Alam. The restaurant owner and the food panda rider were having argument in front of his restaurant. This incident also had left mixed reaction by netizens through the comments.
For your information, on 17 December 2021, a video went viral on TikTok in which a food panda rider was videoed getting into an argument with a vendor. The incident actually took place on the day before, which is on 16 December 2021. The video was shared on a TikTok account by an alliance with username @KikiMusicOfficial, which is actually owned by the owner of the restaurant. The intention of the owner shared the video on TikTok is to show the bad attitude of the food panda rider to the public so that they will critique the rider's attitude. But in the end, it was the owner and the restaurant workers that getting critics and received backlash by the netizen because of their bad attitude and impolite manner towards the food panda rider. The original video was then deleted by the owner as they received many negative comments, and the netizen also decided to boycott the restaurant. This is because it was actually the vendor fault who took a long time in making the order. The vendor also accused the food panda rider of hanging out at the restaurant and not deliver the food immediately to the customer. The vendor is also very impolite in communicating with the food panda rider. Therefore, the argument occurred and heated between the food panda rider and the vendor. The food panda rider has lodged a report for fear of his safety and his job. The rider also has filed a report to the food panda management due to the inappropriate attitude of the vendor towards the rider.
Now, we focus on the issue. We do live in a world that is filled with conflict, dislike, and negative criticism. In this, we believe that we are open-minded toward individuals who see the world uniquely. But in this issue happened, the owner of the vendor scolding the food panda rider. Due to this situation, the owner supposed not to get mad before they find out the main reason why situation occurred. This situation should not have to happen because the owner of the vendor needs to understand the situation and the work of the food panda rider. Clearly to see here where the owner of the vendor did not put some respect towards other people. On the other side, they already provoke the food panda rider until he used harsh words to defend himself during that time. This is because the vendor took around 30 minutes to prepare the food that the customer ordered. But when the food was ready, the food panda rider took for only 1 until 2 minutes taking a break before he delivered the food. From there, the vendor owner did not have an understanding and gave some time to the food panda rider. They choose to scold the rider on the public even it was their fault at the first place. From there, the issue occurred rightly in front of the vendor.
Here are the few solutions in order to solve the issues. The first solution is to provide a waiting places only for the food riders. The restaurant owner can provide few chairs and few tables only for the food riders so that they can rest while waiting for the customer's order. The second solution is to improvise food panda services, especially between the riders and the restaurant owner. Food Panda can add new features where the restaurant owner can change the estimated time for the customer's orders to be done. So when there is any changes that has been made, the system will automatically inform the customers as well as the Food Panda riders. Thus, miscommunication can be avoided. The third solution is try to solve the matter wisely. Fighting in front of your restaurant could give a very bad impression towards your customer. In the future, the customer would not choose to eat at your restaurant again. So the best things that you can do is listen patiently to each party explanation, being open-minded, look at the problem in a different way, and try to overcome it with few solutions.
Next is the causes. Firstly, the causes is poor communication. Poor communication between business owner and food panda rider. The restaurant owner did not say how long the rider must wait to get the customer order and had to wait for a long time for about 30 minutes. There's no good communication from both parties when this situation occurred. There was no good communication between the two parties and the misunderstanding happened for restaurant owner and food panda rider. Secondly is no tolerance. The two parties get into misunderstanding when the restaurant owner does not tolerate on waiting the rider. The owner continues to force the rider to deliver the packaged food as soon as possible to the customer. There's no tolerance occurs when the rider sits in the restaurant after reserving the order while the customer knows how much time the rider will take. Lastly, the causes is there is no common sense. The restaurant owner has no common sense toward the food panda rider. The rider is willing to wait for the customer order, so the owner should give time constraint to the rider. The owner needs to better understanding the rider performing to the task. When the restaurant owner told him to hurry to send order to the customer and the owner swear to the rider in front of the public, there is no common sense happen.
To conclude the whole issue, the vendor shouldn't act in that manner. Nevertheless, both parties need to be understanding in regards to each other's jobs and duties. As we know, Food Panda tends to get complaints from impatient customers, and it is reasonable for the rider to act that way because he doesn't want any complaint received that might affect his performance. The vendor should inform the rider regardless any issues happen, and they should cooperate well to the situation. Secondly, the vendor should have a strategic planning to improve the waiting time by providing a space and preparations station, especially for food delivery services, as the orders might be high during the peak hours. Lastly, communication is the key. Both parties need to communicate with each other in a good manners. As for the vendor, they should be professional and inform the rider any delay instead of trying to pick a fight for unnecessary reasons.
That's all from us. Thank you.